お待たせをいたしました。それでは、ただいま
Thank
よ
you
り
for
パネルディスカッシ
waiting.
ョンに
So we
企業
will
領
do
域を
start
中心とした
panel
企業の
discussion
レコード
2,
人材の確保と
development
育
of
成にもたらす
Osaka
大
Kansai
阪・関
through
西の発展
securing
に
and
関しまし
fostering
て、
highly
後半のパネルディ
skilled
スカッションに移っ
human
てまいります。
resources in companies mainly in the
パネリストの
financial
方々、そ
domain.
して モデレー
So
タ
we
ー
have 3
をお迎えして
panelists
まいります。
and a
本日はモ
moderator.
デレーター
So
が、
as a
株式会社法
moderator,
人フィンテック協
we
会理
have
事、
Miss
株式会社
Chang
ホカン
Lee
エグゼクティブアド
from
バイザ
Fintech
ー、
Association of
チャンリー
Japan
様、
and
そして、
Hokan Inc.
モデレ
And
ーター
as a
の方々の方々の紹介
panelists,
をいたし
there are
ます。
3 panelists.
まず、株式会社、
First,
JAC リクルート
from
メント、
JAC
執行
Recruitment,
役員、
the
東日本
executive
大業務
officer,
統括金融部
and
門、鑑賞、松岡、
Mr.
ヒロシ
Hiroshi
様、
Matsuoka,
モルガンスタンレー
and
MUFG 証
Mr.
券株式
Tetsuo
会社大
Kawada
阪オフィス
from
局長、川
Morgan
田哲也様、
Stanley MUFG
アルテアエンジニ
Securities,
アリング
and
株式会社
Mr.
セールスマネ
Keiichiro
ージャーこと
Oikawa,
及
Sales
川
Manager
圭一
of
様の、
Altair
4名でご
Engineering
ざいます。
Inc., the four of them.
皆様拍手でお迎えく
Yeah,
ださいま
please
せ。それでは
welcome
皆様
them
どうぞ
with a
壇
big
上
round
に
of
お願いいたし
applause.
ま
So
す。
please come up to the stage.
先ほどございました通り、
So,
モデレーターの方々にですね、
moderator,
ご質問、ご質問
can
ございました際はですね、お
how
答えいた
if
します
you
際はですね、
have
どうぞご
any
協力いただければと存じます。
yeah,
では、ここ
questions,
からの
yeah,
進行は、モ
please
デレーターの
collaborate
方
with the
々よろしく
moderator. So,
お願いいたしま
moderator
す。
Ms. Lee, please start. Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, everyone.
今日も長丁場の
So, it's a very long discussion. So, I guess you might get tired, but maybe you can do some warm up. So, please try to exchange your business card to the person next to you. So if you know a person next to you already, maybe you can move a little bit around, maybe spending 1 minute, you can try to exchange business cards. Thank you very much, everyone. So please have a seat again. So in our networking time, I'm sure you have time to know each other and meet each other. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, and today, thank you very much for coming when you're busy. I have a question to you. So, you are related to, how many of you are related to universities, academia? Could you raise your hands if you are from academia? Thank you. So how about with the companies, big companies? Well, so any companies doesn't have to be big companies. People from companies, corporation. Yeah. Thank you. Maybe some of you might be from the government or public sector. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. So today we have another discussion. So to development of Osaka Kansai through securing and fostering highly skilled human resources in companies mainly in the financial domain. So the talent will be the core. As I said, so the people in academia introduce an initiative to develop the talents. So university and the companies need to work together. So from now on, the people in the companies could talk about what kind of talents that they want and how they can develop the talents required. So we can discuss that.
So later on, I'd like to ask each panelist to introduce themselves, but let me first introduce myself. My name is Lee. I am from the Sichuan province in China, and then I came to Japan when I entered the university. I studied at Asia Pacific University at the Ritsumeikan in Oita, and then at that time, the Meiji Yasuda Life Insurance wanted to hire people who can do the business overseas, and therefore they sent 3 members to APO, and then eventually I joined the Meiji Yasuda Life Insurance, and I worked for that company for 5 years. And then after that, I joined the Plug and Play Japan. That is the matching, that is the entity that provide a matching platform in Silicon Valley. I worked for 6 years, but in between that, I attended the MBA program, which is jointly offered by the University of Hong Kong and the Continued Business School. And particularly, there are two classes that changed my career perspective. And then first one is the Fintech class. And then probably around 2015, people started to hear about the Fintech in the media. And at Meiji Yasuda Life Insurance, including the colleagues, we feel certain distance from fintech topics. And at Hong Kong University, I took the fintech class and the fintech course, and then I learned various practices of fintech companies. And then the people from fintech companies came to the class to share their experiences of establishing certain companies in that area. It was very much interesting. And then another class that I found very interesting is Business Lab. We spent a few months to think about, come up with ideas, and then create business plans, and then make presentations to in front of investors. So by studying, attending these two courses, I had some interest in the fintech, and then I joined the Plug and Play Japan, and then I worked for that company for 6 years. And from 2022, I have started to serve as the director for the Fintech Association of Japan. When I was at university, I thought it's hard for me to find a job, but at the same time, from the different perspective, also companies find it very hard to acquire talents. And today, I like to ask company representatives to share what kind of talents they are looking for and how hard for them to hire the talents. And then first, I'd like to ask Mr. Matsuoka from JAC Recruitment Company to introduce yourself. Thank you. Let me stand up to see the slide. I am Matsuoka from JAC Recruitment. I joined the company as a mid-career employee, and I've been working for that company for 20 years. And then my core responsibility is the finance. And since 2006, of course, there are ups and downs and the financial crisis in the US, and then also the major earthquake of 2011 in Japan, and then COVID pandemic. So through these hardships and difficulties, I have been providing the support for the HR and then finding the talents and in finance. And I also involved in establishing the fintech division. And in addition to finance, I'm also looking into the consulting firms and others. Let me just provide some introduction to JAC Recruitment. JAC Recruitment is to provide the support for companies hire mid-career talents. The company was established by a Japanese person in the UK. This year celebrates 50th anniversary of the establishment. So it started from London, and then now we do a business in 11 countries at more than 33 locations, and then we have about 2,000 employees to provide support, and in particular, the specialists and experts in M&A or cybersecurity, or depending on the customer's requests, the CXO executives also the support are provided. And then even though we also provide the support to young people, but have a good talents and they're receiving the higher salaries. And in recent examples include the surrounding areas that we also get involved in the hiring process on behalf of our customers. I'm looking forward to have great discussions with other panelists. Thank you, Matsuoka-san. So you talked about the young people but earning a very high salary. I am very much interested in what types of talents that you're talking about. And then next from Morgan Stanley, we have Mr. Kawada. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for this opportunity to attend the Finance Forum. I am the head of the Osaka office of Morgan Stanley MUFG Securities Company Limited. And then we are the U.S. Financial Institute, and this year celebrates 90th anniversary. And in Japan, we've been doing the business for more than 50 years. And in 2023, we established office in Osaka. So we have a dual operation systems in Osaka and Tokyo. And then we focused on the Kansai area, particularly for the recruitment and the development of the talents. When we started this office, only 8 people worked in that office, but now we have 35 members. And then our business is not just in Japan, but also in other countries. And then we also deal with different industries and then support our operations, including the opening the bank accounts and the payment processes and the report in an integrated manner. So we have the collaboration with other global teams to provide the support. So when we say operation, it includes various processes. Therefore, talking about our recruitment and development, I like to share our experiences with you. Thank you. Thank you. And the next, from Altair Engineering, the Mr. Oikawa. I am Oikawa from Altair Engineering. Let me introduce myself and then my company. I am Oikawa. I am the sales manager in the financial industry. I used to work at JP Morgan and then Bloomberg, which provide financial information. And then currently, I am now at Altair Engineering to provide supports and information. And Altair is headquarters in Michigan State in the US, and we have an office in Kyobashi in Tokyo and Umeda in Osaka, which is newly opened. Our activities include data analytics, simulation, and high performance computing. These are the 3 areas that we have the specialty. And for the data analytics, the Altair Rapid Binary is the one that I am now working on. And then this is the rapid miner platform information. When you use the data, we have the Monarch. This is for the pre-processing, and then other products. And then we have AI Studio, and this is for the financial institutions. And we visualize the streaming data of the trades and the knowledge graph, which is often the topic of these days. So we provide the graph solution, Graph Studio, and then we also have the compilers and SLC.
So our AI Studio is that we provide. So for particular financial companies, we provide a tool and also training programs as well. So university and also education institution. So we provide license free of charge, and also we also provide academic program too. Yeah, thank you very much. That's all. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so really the latest initiatives and also I'd like to ask about industry, government, academia collaboration as well. So let's start the discussion. So today, so fintech or technologies, those keywords were included in those three of your presentations and or introductions. So in a couple past years, the technology and environmental changes have been very rapid, and the financial talents which companies require also have been updated. I'd like to ask you, Matsuoka-san. So Matsuoka-san, from your perspectives, what kind of a trend you have seen in financial talent that companies would like to have? So could you please show the material, please? Next, please. Yeah. So in our company, so financial industries overall talent trend, which what I like to talk about. So in the past 10 years, trend is as this. So after COVID, nationwide, Osaka as well, the financial talent or required talent, number of the people who are required has been increasing a lot. Earlier, the number of companies was mentioned. So this is the open positions trend. So 2024. So the red arrows mean that in particular, so business planning or IT, they were growing so much. So how the companies try to generate new things. So those are required by companies, and also so financial institutions branches might reduce some resources. So that is a structure. And next. Okay, so digital or IT angle. So if you look at that, so similar trend has been seen, and 2023 to 24, has grown so much. Next, please. So as I said earlier, and so those areas are growing so much. And next, please. Yeah, it's a bit difficult to see, right? And the next, please. Yeah, so this is the breakdown of the occupations and the trend. Initially, IT, technology, talents, hiring. So what kind of positions were main? So to project manager to run different projects, of course, that is also quite common. And next largest was the financial specialists. So, but that has been changed a lot. So the project managers have been growing so much, just like business planning and also web marketing. Also, is increasing in terms of how to create a customer's touch point. And this is the financial industries digital IT pillar-based matters. So the talent required also has been changing. So initially, the financial sector required financial people or financial background, but in recent years, the more so the other matters have been integrated. So IT industries talent has also been increased. So this is a qualitative trend as well. So background also has been diversified or expanded. So the experts can get the high annual salaries can be offered, and to proceed businesses, IT foundation or securities also need to be enhanced. So it's very difficult to find the talents in specializing in that. So that area's personnel is in shortage. So this is about each company's initiatives and examples. So use cases. So how to enhance the literacy has been a challenge, not only in the digital department, but across the company. So there are many companies trying to enhance the overall IT literacy and even further ahead. So usually in each company has HR department, but not the HR department, but digital talents might include HR department. So like how to develop the specialists and what kind of a career path to provide to those specialists. What is the HR structure should look like? So those are also included in their initiatives in increasing the number of companies. Yeah, that's all. Yeah, thank you very much. So Financial Times, IT, those talents needs are increasing. At the same time, company structure has been evolving, which is very interesting. So maybe we can deep dive later. And so Kawada-san, I'd like to ask you as well. Kawada-san, so he's the head of Osaka branch, Osaka office. In Osaka office, in a hiring a talent. How do you hire talent in your Osaka office? So many people from transfer from Tokyo to Osaka, or do you hire locally? Yeah, thank you. So a year and a half ago, we established Osaka office. Back then, so why did we establish Osaka office? It's because when the Tokyo is damaged and because of the disaster, and then maybe day after day, we can pick up the operation in Osaka and continue the operation. So quickly, speedily, we should collect the people. So that was a priority. So for us, so as a plan, there are several plans. So people coming from Tokyo to Osaka transferred. So people who used to work in Tokyo and who have families. But first, we ask the people who have families in Osaka to transfer to Osaka from Tokyo. But those people were only maybe 1/3 of entire 35 people. So what we needed to do, we needed the local hire people locally. So of course we try to recruit a new graduate every year locally, like 6 to 10 people. We hire new graduates, but at the time we had to hire mid-career people. But unfortunately, in the Kansai area, Morgan Stanley is not know much. There is not much awareness. It was so difficult to hire people there. So for us, we had to expand our window, and then even new graduate hiring, the undergraduates or English capability is necessary. However, it was not mandatory. So you might wonder if this is true. So financial institutions and also security firms, but of course, if that is a trading or research or IT, of course you need some skill sets. However, in operation department, we don't really require specific fixed skill sets. So then, in a mid career hiring, so people who have no experience in the financial industry or the who are not very much English proficient, but still we hire those people as well. We expanded, we widen the scope. And the most important thing is that when we hire those people, so reskilling or training would be necessary for long-term perspectives. That's what we did. So that's how we are still pursuing that initiative. So we have focused on that. Thank you.
Thank you. Perhaps Morgan Stanley is not the only company that have struggling hiring talents. And I have a question to Matsuoka-san. Currently in the financial field, and then now looking at the background of the people who are working in the financial industry, but how you communicated the needs of the financial institutions and acquire talents. Thank you for the question. That many people are coming from other industry, but there are some changes recently. But initially, they may have certain assumption and image about the financial institutions. It's very strict. But recently, various companies are very much active and then building their own brand and create some innovation companies and collaboration with others. And then now we allow the people to casually dress when they come to the office, not the business suit. So talking about these minor things, there are many changes in the financial institutions. So this is a kind of a grassroots activity that we are doing in order to hire talents. Thank you. And I'd like to ask some uniqueness of Osaka. And Matsuoka-san mentioned earlier, you hire people locally in Osaka and then develop in the long term. But from your perspective, Matsuoka-san, this is common to the companies in Osaka? Well, not just in Osaka, but in other areas as well. The companies are competing for the talents. Therefore, usually the people have more interest in Tokyo. So how the company should hire locally? In order to do that, they have to convey the message to the potential talents, what will be the career opportunities when they want to increase the IT talents. That's an important point. The next question is addressed to Oikawa-san. Your company provide consultations and also training education services to the financial institutions. And the financial industry is changing on a daily basis. And what we learned at universities is not enough. Therefore, what types of education and training that the financial institutions would like to have? Could you show my slides? I'd like to share our training projects to different financial institutions. They have a different training curriculum and different tools. And if a project is established and people study to work together, and then when you they have an issue that how to measure the results and outcome of those. And then this is from the basics of the data science and the Python and then other very basic tools. So this is the curriculum for them to study. And then as an arrangement, we have a kind of a gamification. So they can learn through gaming and they make presentations, for example. Could you move to the next page? The generative AI and how to develop the generative AI without any codes. So we have a no-code platform. And so with the closed environment internally, and the data is used in that environment because financial institutions are very much careful about the security of the data they are dealing with. Therefore, we have a model to be established together with the people. And we have a large security companies, and now we are having ongoing project starting from the training and then establish and develop generative AI. That's the fund management companies. And then another example is with the securities companies. And then they adapted Python and then machine learning. So the beginners should study from no-code platform and program. And then they should be provided in the environment that they can eventually develop the different platform and the models. So these are the flow that we usually have with our customers. Thank you for sharing your experiences. I think I want to also participate in one of these training programs. And then Matsuoka-san and Kawata-san also talked about the importance of the internal education. But Oikawa-san, you also have the collaboration with universities to develop the educational contents with the industry. Yes. I wanted to show this at the end. This is the collaboration with Dr. Izumi from Tokyo Universities, and we offer our tool to the first-year students. Probably this is the same as at the companies, and this is how the students started to use our tools to understand what it is, and then feel the joy and the pleasure in using that. And yesterday, we had the International Finance Forum, and then together with Professor Izumi and then other financial institutions, we had panel discussions, and we talked to each other and then thinking about the next project. So from Oikawa-san's perspective, these initiatives, in order to make these initiatives successful, what collaboration and cooperation you require from companies? The first point is that this might be my personal opinion. As I listened to the professors in the panel discussion 1, and the students are very much advanced in these days. And when we create new things, but the next day, probably a much newer one will be developed. Therefore, there is no place for the students to make presentations. And then Professor Miyake said that they invite the people from private companies to give opportunities for students to make presentations. Probably we can support in those occasions. Thank you. And earlier, you talked about the use of the generative AI at the training. And I have a question to the audience. Probably you use ChatGPT in a daily basis to get support. Could you raise your hand if you use the ChatGPT in your daily work? Probably half of the participants are raising the hands. And then those who are using, probably you feel that the generative AI is evolving on a daily basis. In my job, I usually use that for the translation. And 1 year ago, I asked the generative AI to translate, and I have to correct. But these days, the generative AI translation is so much advanced, and then I don't even need to make any corrections. Therefore, the human work is now being replaced by generative AI, and then that's the same as in the financial industry. So probably we have to ask what a human should do. And then I have a question to Matsuoka-san as the AI use of AI is spreading and how we should enhance our values as humans. Yeah, that discussion is offered from various companies, and there are certain things that only human can do. And probably you also know, for example, the keywords, the sales, jobs, involve communications and involve emotions. Therefore, these are the jobs that should be done by humans in any areas. And AI agent and other new types of AI are emerging, and how to use them and how to create imagination and assumption from AI agent and the others, and then make it their own things, so that the individual humans can heighten their level of the work and then create the career pathway.
Thank you very much. I have a question to Kawada-san. As a head of an Osaka office, when you hire people, what kind of traits do you value? Yeah, so I have seen many patterns, but well, of course, IQ or EQ, well, of course, we look at that. But recently, I myself personally, when I do interview with candidates, I try to look into the person's trait or potential. And so how? So we, as a core value, diversity and inclusion is focused. That is what we value. So this is very important for our company. So I try to see if this person is a student. So what kind of experiences this person had and how he or she failed. So the candidates tend to talk about success stories, but what kind of failures that they made and what they learned from them. That is interesting to me. So because how, and compliance perspectives, how those people are very straight or pure, or so that is what I'm trying to look into the candidates. Yeah, thank you. When I was job hunting, so I was asked about success and failure about my student life, and I had prepared for that. So Kawata-san's, I think you will evaluate the people who don't just talk about the memorized episodes, right? Yeah. So it doesn't show up in a resume. So, but through the conversation, from the conversation, I try to deep dive into trying to look into the person. So the student life, how to live the student life, or how to live our daily life, everyday life, to heighten the resolutions, do you think? Well, a lot of experiences is definitely important. I tend to talk about trips with students. Where did you go? Why do you like? What don't you like some places? And then if talking about those, we can kind of see what kind of person that person is and how the person can be fit to my company, can be kind of seeing, and of course, so always to try to brush up the skill set, that attitude is very important as well. As I talk about Gen AI or automation or Outrex as well, so using a shot, so to improve the efficiency of work, that is very important. So greedy in learning new things is also a very important point that I'm looking for. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Okay, so maybe I can change the angle of questions. Yeah. So, Oikawa-san, I asked you earlier, but so as an initiative of industry, government, academia, other than that, university and the company's gap, in order to fill in a gap, what do you think we should do? I don't know if I can answer to your question, but next page, please. So our company has also providing the program for the students totally free of charge. So data analysis, AI analysis. So that's what we like to help academia. Next page, please. So free software for students, and also we also have a support grant project. So if academia people who are interested, please let me know. And also team activity support grant project is also available. Unfortunately, we also already closed for this fiscal year, but we like to continue. And so globally, yeah, next page, please. Thank you. So Data Science Day. So globally, data science on-demand presentation conference is held. So I hope that we can have a participation from Osaka. This is a global event. And next page, yeah, that's it. Yeah, so students, universities. So this is what we are providing our program service to them, and for the companies, we provide a training program, and also we also do provide consultation so that what kind of programming they can do. And if we need help from academia or universities, or if companies need that, we get in touch with universities so that we can start up a joint project. We do that. Thank you very much. Matsuoka-san, from your perspective as well, the companies are doing internship and through these initiatives to close the distance of the company. Do you think there are more initiatives to closing the gap or distance? Yes, I think so. In a couple, 1 year, 2 years, companies, there are less and less children or students. So we know that. So from first year or second year of students of university, the company trying to get in touch with those students by internship or in a briefing session. Companies will try to do that as well more. So that's how universities and companies can work together. That is important. Thank you. So in the first panel discussion, they talked about startup started from university and Osaka Kansai. In order for them to develop further, of course, traditional financial institutions, of course, need to develop further, but startup development also will be very important equally. So currently, startups coming from the university, usually the top person president tend to be the professor of university, and then they are very strong in their expertise, but maybe they didn't have much experience in the business management. So about that, Matsuoka-san, what do you think about those startups originating from universities? How do you think you can enhance the talent or management? Yeah. So startups coming from, so then those people may tend to very focused on the expertise. So but they have to overcome like a hiring or development, and also expansion of distribution or the product development, and also the fundraising or financing might be their challenges. So if we had one Superman, and we can maybe solve those issues, but if for the fundraising, we need to have a professional in fundraising. So how we can invite those talents, or how we can develop those talents is a challenge, or how we can create networks. That's going to be the important key point. And Kawada-san, Oikawa-san, so you have been working in a financial institution for a long time. So I'm sure that you know people doing a venture or something. Maybe we can hear from them. Yeah. So looking back, so on operation department, the people from operation departments starting ventures, maybe there are those people, but I may not know many. Like a trader, the people who used to be traders or who used to be programming, and they started up their own business and companies and big successful. Yes, there are those people. But as Matsuoka-san said earlier, one person cannot do everything. So we need to have teams, or you should expand the networks so that we can collect each specialist to lead them the success. In the operation department, the highest position would be COO. So then operation department. So people, if we refine the skill sets, maybe they can move up to that level of position. What do you think, Oikawa-san? Yeah. So, as you said, the traders, former traders, or fund managers, so those people might start up a venture company or can do something like hedge fund. Yes, there are some cases, and also those specialists should be hired so that they can create an organization. So yeah, that is the cases that I am aware of. Thank you. Yeah. So we have about 5 minutes left. So any question from audience? We can accept some questions. Panelists, if you have any question to 3 panelists, is anyone who want to ask questions?
My question goes to either one of you, and these talents usually work at large companies, and then large companies allow employees to do side work. So side work or changing the job and then doing the dual job, do you have any insights to share with us? Thank you for the question. This is not a particular change, but at our company, side jobs are allowed once they apply in advance, employees advance. Of course, it depends on the business areas and in others. But in our companies, employees are allowed to do the side job. Few years ago, some cases which were not allowed a few years ago I brought to our company, and the talents, the companies want to retain the talents, but the talents and the people have a lot of other touch points with other companies and other job opportunities. Therefore, the internal career opportunities might be limited. Therefore, the companies brought this issue to our side and whether they should allow employees to do the side job. And the companies are now, an increasing number of companies are offering these opportunities for employees. The engineers that I have a relationship with, and they used to work at large companies, and they started his own engineering startups and hiring students. So there are 3 such companies that I know. For Kawata-san, are there any employees that you actually do the side job? Yes. I may not disclose any specific examples, but a person who is working at the operation And that person likes the watches, so they trade the used watches, that person. Thank you for sharing those cases. And then these kind of flexible working style is one of the way to attract the talents. Is there any other questions? Okay. Thank you. Perhaps my question should go to Kawada-san. I'm also working in a financial institution, but talking about the highly skilled human resources and financial institutions who have a certain the financial resources to hire such highly skilled people, but how there are both cons and pros for that. So are you asking about whether the financial institution develop talents and they send them those talents to outside? Of course, as a company, we hire talents and then develop, and we wish that those talents should stay with us for a longer period of time. And talking about the development of human resources, so preparatory period, and I personally think that those while they are working at our companies, that might be considered as a training phase, preparatory phase for the person to move on to the next stage in their career. Thank you. Okay. Next question. JC is studied from London, and then other companies also studied overseas. On the other hand, in the first panel discussion, we talked about the Japanese students and then develop Japanese students to become global persons. And then particularly in this Fin area, as entrepreneurs, we studied the business in Osaka and then go overseas in the next stage. So the talents who support these skilled human resources might be also another way to do that. And then what is now lacking right now in that perspectives? Thank you. It's a very important question, but hard to answer. How about you, Oikawa-san? What is lacking or what is in shortage? I'm just wondering. I don't know how to answer. Probably the time to think and the place for discussions and the tools to do that. It's a very hard question to answer. I don't know the best answer, but having discussions is very important, which did not occur in the past. Therefore, we should have discussion and then what these people want to do. I'm sorry, I may not answer your question. Matsuoka-san, do you have any other comments to supplement? And my personal thoughts, and then also the conversation with many different people, including mid-career persons. But for example, in foreign countries and the needs, and then probably the Japanese people are hesitant to apply for the positions because of the language barriers. But depending on the positions, the Japanese people are so much highly appreciated because they are, generally speaking, they are hardworking. So there are needs of the Japanese people from companies. Therefore, companies probably look for Japanese people, but we are not aware of that. So once we became aware of that, probably the things will be changing. And then in the transition of the career, the person may not have a specific directions moving forward, but when they have some opportunities to meet a new persons and new companies, probably their mindset might also change. So that kind of the opportunities should be provided. As I listen to the other panelists were talking, I try to put together my thoughts. As far as I am working in the financial institution and the managers or colleagues talk about the reward or the risk, and then entrepreneurship is one of them. And the student and university, I don't know what types of activities that they are doing, but the risk and the reward should be the combination to be understood by students before joining the workforce. And in our case, when the person joined this company, and then when we offer the training, the risk and the reward concept comes into that. And so we discuss that and execute that. But as preparation, that concept should be understood as preparation. This is my personal opinion. Thank you. So the question, probably I can rephrase the questions. In the first panel discussion, the professors introduced the various new activities. And as you heard this presentation, anything that you have an interest in, or anything that you want to work with universities, is there any topic that you had an interest in? Perhaps Oikawa-san first.
So having heard other professors, so there is a financial talent, the DX talent development. So what we do is machine learning, but so people who can do it is very high up people in the pyramid. But in a company, if we do the competition and then we do the presentation, and always same people appear who are very excel in machine learning and Python, and then they got reward all the time. But the low literacy people who should be ready for the DX even don't participate. So the DX talent development will require so those students so those students who those other professors are teaching, so those people should be educated. And if you have that kind of structure, so the X talent development should definitely elevate it. This is my personal thoughts, personal views. Thank you. Yes, it's true that so if you work in a company for many years, you already have fixated ideas and it's getting difficult to change. So even from the university, more flexible, so having a flexible mindsets and imprinted in the students would be very good. What do you think? So this is my definitely personal experience, but I was in a university I was studying university in overseas. So we got learning a lot. I got learning a lot. What I thought is that there are so many discussions and so many discussions, and as I said earlier, so diversity and inclusion. So how very different people's background, with variety of background, they can raise ideas and try to solve issues. And even they don't agree with a certain idea, they agree. So those experiences were, I think, very good to have. And from diversity perspective too, when you start working, it must be very beneficial. Thank you. What do you think, Matsuoka-san? So we heard about the initiatives in universities. then so many different people can maybe come and go, and it could be undergraduate faculties or maybe people working people and students. So those relationships are very important. Then the generation where those people were living might be very important too, and also countries as well. In my company too, there we have operation in 11 countries. So we have some global gathering or meetings a couple of times a year. So many things come up, surprisingly. Then, as he said earlier, Kawada-san said earlier, so to be able to assertive and also to be able to discuss, that is very important point. Those experiences, if you can nurture that from the university life, university era, and if that is more common or natural, then people could absorb more things naturally. So those initiatives should be more activated, I think. Yeah, thank you. Yes. So as you said, diversity, and as Kawada-san said at the beginning, so a lot of different experiences. I also agree that they are very important. I myself was in Ichimeka Asia Pacific University was my experience. So 50% as foreign students, 50% was Japanese students. So in the university where I went, there are a lot of discussions with many different people with different backgrounds. So they showed many different cultures. So students, even Japanese students don't come late, but some students will always come late to the class. And students who don't work usually, but they're always the someone who want to do the presentation up front. So even certain frustration, but still those diversity was kind of normal for us to learn. That was very great experience for me personally. So that kind of experience should be accumulated when you are students in university, and then that might be leading you to the globally successful talents. So today we got a wonderful stories from those panelists. Thank you so much. So in a networking time, we can maybe talk together again directly, and then you can exchange information, opinions. Thank you so much for the audience as well. So that is all for this panel discussion. Lee-san, Matsuoka-san, Kawada-san, Oikawa-san, thank you so much. Please give them a big round of applause again. Thank you very much.